Hello YouTube and welcome to Full Dottle, a channel dedicated to tamping topics such as pipes, tobacco, lure, and more. I am your host, the Bearded Briarman, and without further ado, let's get lit. Welcome back everyone, and on this episode of Full Dottle, I'm going to be doing a review of Samuel Gawith Cabbie's mixture. The other two VAPers that I've already reviewed are on the strong or robust side. This one is going to be on the mild side. Let's go ahead and look at what tobaccoreviews.com says about it. A Virginia and Perique twist, hand rolled, then hand sliced. A sweet natural Virginia taste takes center stage when lit with the Perique, giving a spicy undertone to the flavor. It's got a medium strength, and I would put it in the medium to mild end of the spectrum. No flavoring detected. It has a medium to full taste, and the room note is considered to be pleasant to tolerable. Let's take a whiff. This I find to have a decent tin note. You can definitely get the bright Virginias out of this. You get a little floralness. You get that toasted bread. You get a little bit of that sour, fermented type aroma from the Perique. That mustiness from the Perique. Overall, a very pleasant bouquet. Tonight, I am going to be reviewing this tobacco in my 673 KS 7LE Fantasia. I forgot to do a little housekeeping on my last review. I apologize. In the last review, I was smoking my brand new, just came in this week, 7LE 673 KS Rusticated Cocktail. Beautiful little pipe. I've got another one too that added to my collection. The Tiger, or Tigre, however you say it. That's Italian, so I don't know why I would put a French roll on there. But anyway, let's get lit. If you guys could, do me a favor in the comments section, tell me what the lighting looks like on this. I just got in my second softbox over the weekend here, and now I've got a full presentation on the light. It's still casting some shadows, but overall I think it looks good. I'm interested to hear what you guys think. So on this blend, on the sufficiently dry, I gave it only 2 points. And the reason I did that was because out of the tin, this is extremely moist. I took my rolling tray and I set out the tobacco for 45 minutes after breaking it up, rubbing it out, and letting it set. It took at least 45 minutes for it to be ready to load and smoke. So I only gave it 2 points there because it took some drying time. But that doesn't necessarily take away from the blend. So The bright Virginias on this are the star player. You get a lot of that grassy hay-like flavor from them and just a hint of the citrus sitting in the background. Yeah, the citrus doesn't come through quite so much on these. It's a little surprising to me. But the grassy hay flavor from the Virginias, that bright, fresh flavor comes through pretty quickly. More so a floral note than the citrusy note. Yeah, you get that floral, mildly sweet. Just a beautiful bright Virginia. The Perique in this is so mild. The spice is so mild on this, it's not going to burn, even on a complete exhale through your nose. Hardly any burn at all. The Perique is absolutely very well balanced with the Virginias here. I get just a little bit of an undertone of those dark stewed fruits. Not much. But that deep raisin is just kind of lingering under the surface of the Perique. The bright Virginias, though, are playing very well. It's more of that dry grass with just a hint of the floral and sweetness holding it up. Slight tang from the citrus. And that Perique is just, it's like the Virginias are laying in a hammock. The Perique is the hammock, and it's just gently swaying them. I think it's nicely balanced. Now, with this one having so much of the bright Virginias, I will say, go slow with it. Be a little easy with it. I started to sip a little too hard there, and you can tell that it will burn hot. Slow it down. I always get into this mindset where I have to see clouds of smoke in order to think that I'm smoking it. With this, let the smoke be a little more wispy. Take your time, take slow, shallow sips from your pipe. And allow those Virginias to burn a little bit slower. This has started out really good. You can definitely tell it's got the bright Virginias. It tastes like a summertime bright. Imagine lemon water with lemon zest in it. Absolutely great. Even somebody who doesn't like Perique, I think, would find this very mild. Started out great. Let me smoke this bowl to the midway point, let it cool for just a little bit, and I'll be right back with you to conclude my review, let you know what I find. All right, guys, so I've smoked the pipe down to mid-bowl, and now After letting it cool for just a little bit, let's dive back in and see how it has changed. I really can't tell that it's done a whole lot of difference. It's become a little sweeter, not much. The spiciness from the Perique has gotten a little deeper. But I can't really tell a big difference. That tang, the citrus in it has deepened just a little bit. It's gotten a little sweeter. The citrus has deepened just a little bit, but I don't tell a big difference from the mid bowl. Still a great blend though. So let's conclude here. I'll give you the conclusion of my review. For the 10 note, I gave it a 4. I think it has a very pleasing bouquet. You get a lot of the floral and that little grassy toastiness from the Virginias. You can smell the mustiness, the fermented aromas from the Perique, a little bit of that stewed fruit in there. For the sufficiently dry, I gave it a 2 out of 5 because, like I said, it does require a considerable dry time. For the sweetness, I gave it a 2.5. It's middle of the road. For a Virginia, I would have expected a lot sweeter. Out of a bright Virginia, I would have expected it to be a sharper sweetness rather than with the dark Virginias, you get that deeper caramelized sweetness. With the bright Virginias, you should get that sharp sweet. And it's just not as rich as I thought it would be. So I gave it a 2.5. I don't get a whole lot of fruit out of this, so I gave it a 2. With the Perique, I don't get any of those dark fruits. I don't get any of the stewed fruits. But you do get a pleasant spice out of the Perique. It adds a wonderful condiment spice to it. And for that, I gave it a 3.5. I find the citrusy, that tangy citrus lemon zest from the bright Virginias, I found those to be very pleasant. And because of that, I gave it a 3.5 on that as well. No, I gave it a 3. It doesn't have the depth that I would enjoy in a blend. It's not bad, but I did give it a 2.5. It's middle of the road for depth. The Virginias come out very strong. You can definitely discern them. And the Perique is very mild. And that's about the overall view of this blend. Doesn't mean it's a bad blend. It just means that it's not a very complex blend. So I gave it a 2.5 on complexity. The bright Virginias and the Perique play very well in this blend. Neither one of them are trying to compete for space. The Perique lifts the Virginias very well, and I'm assuming that that's why the sweetness is coming through, is because the Perique is allowing that. And for that reason, I gave the balance a 4 on this blend. On smoothness, I gave it a 3. And the reason I gave it a 3 is because improper technique is going to cause tongue bite. This has the ability to burn hot and can cause tongue bite. Or if you smoke it too frequently, it's going to cause tongue bite. So you have to take some caution with it, and for that reason, I gave it a 3. The high point of the bowl for me on this one is going to be those tangy, citrusy undertones that I'm getting out of it with that mild sweetness carrying it. For that reason, I gave it a 3.5 on the high point of the bowl. On the low point of the bowl, I'm a little disappointed that it's not as sweet as I would expect from a bright Virginia. I also get just a teeny tiny bit of bitterness from this, and I'm assuming that's because of it's either because of the acidity in the Virginia or because of the Perique is adding just a little layer of bitterness. Not bad, it's not unpleasant, I don't dislike it, but it's present enough that I gave it, for the low point of the bowl, I gave it a 2. And if smoked properly, it burns cool enough, and for that I gave it a 3.5. It's a pretty good VAPer. Total, after I've tallied everything up, I gave it a 38 out of 65. That puts it around the 58% mark, and this is kind of a two-way. It's kind of an unusual blend because I do not enjoy bright Virginias very much, fresh, bright Virginias. To me, it's a lot like a green banana. If I open the refrigerator and I want a banana, and a green banana is the only one in the refrigerator, I'm going to eat it. And I'm going to enjoy it because I like bananas. But because it's green, it's going to taste a little funny to me. It's going to taste unripe. And that's what bright Virginias taste like to me. They taste like something that they're not quite finished. Like they were plucked from the tree too early. And so for that reason, I'm not really a bright Virginia fan. And that really shows in my reflection here in my ratings. But that doesn't mean it's a bad blend, and that doesn't mean I wouldn't recommend it. There are going to be some people who are going to really enjoy this blend. And I think it's for good reason. It's a great mild VAPer. But there are going to be those who aren't going to do so well with it. A beginner smoker might not do very well with it because of their cadence, might cause it to burn hot. That is also going to lead to tongue bite. A person who enjoys it too frequently is going to end up getting a little tongue bite. And so there are a lot of factors that are playing into this rating. So don't think just because it got a 58% recommendation from me that means that it's just a so-so blend or it's not a good blend. That just means that my perspective on it is a bright Virginia is a little bit green. I like them to mature more. Cabbie's mixture happens to be one of my absolute all-time favorite VAPers after it's aged for 5 years, at least. Once it is aged for 5 years, the bright Virginias deepen, their complexity rises, it becomes a more, the flavor profile of a matured bright Virginia becomes like molasses and brown sugar and really matures. Just like if you take a banana that has matured properly, you get a very full banana flavor. There's none of that acidic, green, unripe taste. Same thing with the bright Virginia. And that's why I gave it kind of a middle-of-the-road rating. However, I'm telling you though, Cabbie's mixture is an awesome VAPer. For somebody who likes that very mild and bright, upbeat Virginia, you're gonna like this blend. If you're afraid of Perique, or if you're not as practiced in Perique, if you don't have a lot of experience in Perique, you might want to try this because the Perique is mild enough that you're going to get the flavor profile from it, but it's not going to smack you in the face. It's not going to make you dislike it. It's not going to give you a bad experience and cause you not to want to experience it later on. This is an overall great blend. So take it for what it is. Some people I would recommend it highly. Some people I wouldn't recommend it. But for those experienced smokers that enjoy the bright Virginias and have a palate that you can discern the nuances in the Virginias without getting sidetracked like I do with its unripened type fresh flavor, try this out. Cabbie's Mixture is a wonderful blend. So that's going to do it for this episode of Full Dottle. I hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, give me a thumbs up, give me some love. Just a reminder, the best way to support your YouTube content creators is to thumbs up their content if you like it, and leave a comment in the comment section to tell them what you think. That engagement goes a long way to help us further our subscriptions and build an audience out there. Anyway, folks, until the next time we see each other, I bid you farewell and happy piping. Goodbye, everyone. Don't forget to enlist in the Full Dottle platoon. It's easy. Just click the subscribe button. Also, hit that bell icon to be notified as soon as I upload the next episode.